We had a very high-scoring Anubis. See if there's some new defensive strategies. A lot of different strats came out on first point. We saw some Orisa, May getting her the ice wall to get up to top point, and you can really run a whole lot of different things. I think London might actually end up going for Widowmaker here, but we'll see when their offense comes out.
We saw a lot of fixed point defense. What I mean by that is, you know, yesterday we saw a lot of, okay, Orisa throws down a shield, then the Widow stands behind the shield, she is protected, and you have to try and run at her to get rid of it. And yet here, Florida Mayhem, they're starting out on defense as the home team. What do we make of this setup? I don't see any barriers here to keep Vic safe.
It looks like it's a little bit of version of a dive. Actually, they're running a triple DPS here too. It's just the tanks are set up in that dive position where they're going to allow them to come in for a little bit, and then it's up to the tanks to initiate onto the offense and throw some chaos into their lines.
Yeah, Logix, I mean, Logix certainly performed well on the first map in this series, and so I hope to see that continue. Always a big fan of Tracer play myself. But, you know, Zebasai and Vic, they're going to have to get some kills if this is going to work out for Florida Mayhem. A little bit of pressure on them. London Spitfire seems very divey on their side.
A lot of pressure on Zupe here. He is the only healer for this Florida Mayhem team. If he goes down early, their chances of winning the fight become almost non-existent.
Now, with all the healing he'll do, though, look at this. He's just climbing so quickly with the energy. He will have that Valk so fast if he can stay alive a little bit longer here. He's up to 50% already. That is insane. And already, Florida Mayhem, they've traded 1 for 1, but as I said, I cursed him.
You did. Catholic Curse in full effect as their only source of healing now for the Mayhem out of the fight. It is now just a matter of time as you see the Zenyatta from the high ground. He might as well be in a Zen-like state, just meditating up there, throwing out the orbs. They will clean up first point.
Yeah, nobody wants those orbs. Zen, you can keep those orbs. If you're on Florida Mayhem, you send them back. And now already, okay, here we have it. Change in strategy. Florida Mayhem, they're not going to put up a fight for the first point, rather. They're going to give it up, focus on that second point, and I'm glad we're going to see the replay here from Birdring because he certainly was doing damage. He had free reign.
Yeah, no one's even contesting him right there, and then when Prophet takes down Tavik, then Birdring doesn't even have to worry about getting counter-sniped on the other end of things. You saw Mayhem has now switched it up to a Sombra. They have to hold this fight or that switch means nothing. The Sombra needs a little bit of time to be able to charge up an EMP, which deactivates everyone's abilities.
Well, they need to focus. Nux is going to get his Valk faster, although here we go. The Dragon Blade, slice and dice, 2 kills already for London, and this is looking fantastic. Zupe, he hasn't even got Valk. He's still at 85%. This is unreal.
He's been dead. If they can get out here and stall, then perhaps he can get Valk onto this point, but they're just going to go and try to shut the doors right away. The only hope is for this Winston to buy a little bit of time. The stall needs to come out so Zupe can get Valk. He's at it now.
He's got it now, and so we'll see if he's going to be able to get a couple of reses, and maybe Florida Mayhem can save things here. There's the one going out onto Vic, trying to keep him alive a little bit longer, and the focus needs to come in. Prophet hunting for targets right now. Will collapse on Switch in just a moment here, sure enough.
I think they're going to hold this. They were able to get the Valk out, the stall came out, and then on top of that, Zeba was able to work up on that Sombra EMP. No one's able to use their abilities. They get a couple more kills, and when you start seeing a little bit of that defense in the kill feed, it's very difficult for the Spitfire to pull that off, and they have deflected the attack.
Florida may have a chance to breathe here, but look at how close it was.
Yeah, it's tough.
There isn't a whole lot of room for error here for Florida Mayhem. Now, you did notice one of the reasons why you're running Sombra on this point. You saw Prophet, he's like, maybe I can get the health. No, Sombra, she's like, actually, bro, that's my health pack. You're not allowed to have it.
Taking that health away. Now, we've seen a lot of teams be very aggressive out here. One of the good things Sombra can do is get out here and at least pressure, slow them down, see what the other team is running, and then just translocate out, teleport back to safety. But London knows right now they have a window where they can fight into a team without an EMP, without a Valkyrie. They might just want to take this. Looking for the Blossom is Birdring.
Yeah, looking for that high ground, hoping to find some squishies that he can blow up, that he can shred. Will drop to the low now, but he is going to work. Throw shot in the back. Those shotguns doing tremendous damage. And there it is, pulling the trigger. Birdring not hesitating. Does manage to pick up 1 kill before Logix catches them, but that is going to be it. London Spitfire the entire time. The fighting is happening in those hallways there, off on the side. They're sitting on the point. They're getting the job done, Hex.
It's one of the few times where you see Reaper generally in the mix. On this last point of Anubis especially, teams trying to come out, you have to go through the Reaper, but also because a lot of teams want to run the Sombra on the defense. And one of the best heroes against not being able to use your abilities is Reaper. You talked about why you like him. He's just got shotguns. He just walks forwards. Yeah, shooty shotguns. That's actually what I call him.
Shooty?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it makes sense, right? He's just like Hellfire Cannons. How
it's so cool.
No. Okay, I'm down. I'm down. I mean, look at what we saw there. All he had to do was just drop those high HP targets down as quickly as possible. Doesn't really matter if he picks up the squishies, because if you don't have Swoosh alive to buy time and leap all over the point, things are going to look a little grim for Florida. So We saw a lot of this yesterday where, you know, offense was just on point here on Anubis. Seems like it's the same thing for London Spitfire. Now we're going to switch sides. It's going to be Florida Mayhem going on the offense. And so kind of curious to see what they have in store for us here.
Yeah, we'll see if a team just finds a defensive strategy. Look, A is a point that you're going to give up a lot of times. Just how the maps are designed. You know, A is not a defender's advantage. But it's been surprising the last couple days how little defense we've seen on P, mostly. And this is a really cool strategy. They're going to use the May to come out here, build the ice wall so that Gesture can get his Orisa up top there, and then they might put a sniper behind this as well.
Yeah, this is what we saw from Seoul yesterday.
Yeah.
Where, you know, they would have that, they would have it. I mean, yes, it was Seoul yesterday that were running this sort of strategy where they would actually have the Orisa shield there. You'd have the Widow right behind the shield. She gets the full line of sight on the archway into the point. And this is a tough position to deal with. So kind of curious to see, once Florida Mayhem figure out what they're going up against here, how they're going to react.
The way to deal with it is to dive on top of it with both of your tanks, but that might not be enough. Sometimes you have to also throw in a Genji who can go with the tanks and get that dash through on the team to get those killing blows and get that damage that you need. So we'll see if the Mayhem adjust to this once they sniff it out.
Yeah, Tvik right now looking on the Widow, but as soon as he figures out that his opponent Birdring is standing behind a shield, he's going to be feeling a little grim, a little sad about the situation.
Yeah, it's fine. You can also take this rotation here, and you're staying out of sight lines the entire time. Sometimes you will jump all the way up and swoosh as a warning, fired over the bow.
You think you're out of sight lines, and then Birdring's one step ahead, putting a bullet into you immediately. And now that angle is covered. This is going to be difficult here. There's no barrier to protect Birdring, but he doesn't really need it. They can't even really peek. It's just going to be the run and gun dash here from Florida Mayhem. They're waiting for the go sign, and there it is. I like that Swoosh is turning away from Birdring, trying to avoid that headshot, trying to close off that angle. And Logic's now putting pressure on the back line.
He's putting pressure on the back line, but these supports know each other very well. They know where they're going to be, and Dosen gives Logic's a warning shot right to the dome. They knock down both of the DPS. Mayhem are going to have to retreat.
Yeah, more time bought. I mean, London Spitfire were remarkably quick picking up the first point. They nearly took the 2 points in like 3 minutes time.
But Florida has moved into the correct composition, I believe, to deal with this static. They've added in a Genji instead of a Widowmaker. You need that damage up top if you're going to try to dislodge. It's just a matter of waiting for your timing, waiting for the correct angle. And I like this from Tvik. He's going to go from the other side, try to distract them a little bit, and I think the tanks are going to come around front.
And in the meantime, you have Logic's flanking on the right side. Same kind of point of entry that he was looking for last time around. But here we go. Tvik right on top of him, dashes in, and that doesn't quite do the damage that he was looking for. And so now it looks like London Spitfire, they're keeping their backline alive. So long as they can do that, they will have the healing to see them through, and especially if you got Prophet shredding people left and right.
Yeah, this defensive setup giving the Mayhem a lot of trouble here right now. They're going to come online with a couple of their ultimates, but this is Birdring. I think he crushes Logic's here in this fight. He knows where he is. One too many peeks and punish.
Okay then.
Yeah, that's my response when I get sniped as Tracer. Okay.
Yeah, you kind of slam your dash. It's like, well, then I guess I'm down for the count. Great, nice shot. Well, Prophet, this is just going to get a little bit more grip here for Florida because you're dealing with Dragon Blade on the Genji here.
The support ultimates
the shots.
Both up for Mayhem, but it's going to be a matter of who can take down the opponent's Mercy, because both Falcons should come out here. They do just that.
Great positioning coming in here from Prophet, making sure that he stacks up to make the healing easier for his back line. And Prophet, another kill, and there we go! 2 for him! And in the meantime, his teammates doing work as well. But like you said, the Valks are in play. We have those reses coming through, and now it's Tvik who's going to chop Birdring in half.
Yeah, Zube comes in and he resurrects 2. Nuss has also gotten both of his resurrects in, so a lot of those damaged heroes all brought back to life. Mayhem with a small advantage as Jester's been out of this fight for a bit.
Dude, Nuss right now, he is a hero. Keeping his teammates alive for so long. It doesn't look like it's quite going to be enough, though. Fury trying to buy a little bit more time, not going to have the self-destructs to really push that delay tactic. He's going to be out of there fairly quickly, and it does look like Florida Mayhem. They found a way. They found a way. Through all that chaos, they will cap the first point.
Yeah, but that's still a very good defense for the London Spitfire. In all relative nature, most teams have been struggling to put up any sort of resistance on A. And even that last couple seconds that Fury buys, it allows the Spitfire time to breathe, get set up, and get the heroes that they want for their defense.
So I'm curious to see if we're going to have a change in strategy coming in here from London Spitfire. We saw that from Florida, right, where they tried to get fancy with the Sombra, but it's not looking like London want to have anything to do with that just yet. Prophet has almost got another Dragon Blade, which is insane. He's just farming those at this point.
Oh, they've transcended in, so everyone's going to follow up on this attack to try to stay in Zen's healing. Birdring will take down Zebo once that transcendence is gone, but they've now exchanged healers.
Yeah, Logix, he goes for the pulse, and that is going to force them to stay quick on their feet. But right now, they are capping this point. 1 tick gone for Florida Mayhem already before the contest can come in. London just trying to buy time at this point.
Well, they got an enormous kill on Zupe, so that healing is out of the fight, and now that you start seeing 2 and 3 kills come, that means that the retreat is in full effect. Of note, though, they got enough progress that it's not going to revert entirely. They have 33%. That 33% is going to stick on the board.
Exactly right. Now we're kind of even here, at least as far as ults are concerned. Zabasai swapping over to the Lucio. What do you make of that decision?
Lucio can be good here because you want barrier and also just to speed in. If you're going to do the attack like they did last time with Transcend and just walk right up Broad Street with it, Lucio's even better at that because you get the barrier, which gives you more health, and you also get the advantage of the speed.
Yeah, he's letting them know as well. Right now he's got the healing aura out, but he's going to swap over to the speed, and we're going to see them try and speed things up here and go charging onto the side. Tavik gets the angle. He needs to find this frag, and sure enough, he does in the end. 2 kills, backline dead, and this is looking very promising now for Florida Mayhem. London Spitfire in a tight spot. Tavik is just running amok.
But a swing back from Birdring is going to cause that Valk to come out from Zupe early. If they can stall out just a little bit, the Spitfire are going to have a Valk of their own, and Nuss is going to try to get out of spawn with it.
Yeah, Nuss, and he doesn't waste any time at all. Just goes charging out there, hoping to get some reses up, hoping to buy some time. They need it right now because you just got Blade swinging left and right, and Prophet doing what he does best. Hunts down Zupe, gets the follow-up on Manadin, and it does look like London Spitfire will hold.
That pulse bomb was a huge swing back and forced out both of those resurrections so that their Valkyrie is going to have the bigger advantage. Spitfire's defense looking strong. However, they had to burn a lot right there.
I really love watching Genzies get reflects.
He somehow got out of a fight with 4 HP, gets a small pack, and then this changes the tide.
That was big. Tavik just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Didn't look like Birdring had any idea that that was going to connect with him. Instead, he was looking to take down the monkey, but now we get it. Rinse and repeat. 2 minutes left on the clock, and Florida Mayhem, they need 1 last tick to keep their hopes alive here on this map. Swoosh. Looking to drive, yeah, exactly, trying to get the jump. And already, actually, we have the change coming in. Prophet getting chopped immediately. Great communication coming in here from Florida Mayhem, calling out the focus targets.
They're going to have to res him immediately. That's a non-Valk res, but that is a huge kill from Gesture as Zupe falls from the skies as Mercy. Now Swoosh lands himself in a trap that is not where you want to be as wildlife of any sort. And now the stick comes in. They're going to still try to keep this going, but this might be one of those situations for the Mayhem where you're throwing good money after bad.
Yeah, trading support ultimates as well. The Transcendent's going to wear out fairly soon here, but he is unkillable while the Trans is running. So those are doing a great job buying time. And once again, Florida Mayhem, they get so absurdly close to cap the point they can't get the job done.
It's very easy to fall into that trap on Assault where you think you're winning a fight and you think that it's time to keep throwing some more ultimates in, but it was not in that situation. Once you lose 1 or 2 key components, especially your Mercy, not able to resurrect people, it's time to get out and reset. Now they're going to have to try this fight again with just Valk when they could have had Valk and Sound Barrier together.
This is going to be a bit touch and go because exactly, we don't have the Transcendence for London Spitfire, and Nuss is pretty far away from the Valk. Whereas Mayhem, they've got theirs. That
1 kill already ends this fight. They have to wait. You can't go in without Tavik on your team right there. You don't want to 5v6 into this. So that very early kill from a very nice Zenyatta shot there slows them down for another 20 seconds. So what could have been 2 final attempts at an offense is going to be down to just 1.
And they're going to be under pressure here, London. I mean, still under pressure. Prophet's doing a great job farming, but that's really what Junkrat does. He's going to have the Riptire. They're trying to focus him down immediately again, but he just goes dashing out in the nick of time. And will he find the space to get the tire out? No! Logix is there to find the kill on him instead.
Zebo went down very early, forced out that very first resurrection of the Valkyrie from Zupe. Now both resurrections out. These next kills for London Spitfire will be on the permanent side of things. Fury goes down. Nuss this time has his own Valkyrie in tow.
And they're buying them more time. The tire gets picked. Pick there to be the hero to save the day. Prophet hoping that he is going to find a frag here eventually, but him staying alive is so important with the traps and exactly with the concussive mines. But we are in overtime now, Hex, and this is where it gets dicey. Florida Mayhem desperate to make something happen, but you see it in the kill feed. It's nothing but white, and Tavik doing the best that he can. It's just not going to be good enough. Overtime takes out, and it's a 2-1 win for the Spitfire, tying it up 1-1.
Finally saw some defense. A very nice first defense on A leads to a little more